Hello there, and welcome back to AP World History at Educator.com. I'm so glad that you have chosen to join us in this session. We're in period 6, which is 1900 to the present. And this session, International Interdependence, is facilitated by global organizations. Is there a direction to history? We discussed this some time ago. Certainly there is a direction that we can observe, especially in this time period. And what is that? It's more global every day. So we can see a direction towards globalism where more and more countries and people are interdependent on each other. Interdependent is different than independent. Independent means I don't need you, I can do it myself. Interdependent means we need to work together in order to accomplish what we want to do. So, international interdependence is facilitated by global organizations, and we're going to look at some of those. So, what's the thing that makes us want to get involved and to figure out how we can be more interdependent? And the one answer is World War I and II. These came as a great shock to the Western world. If we go somewhere around the beginning of this period, 1900, and we were to question people about the status of the future, there would have been very few people who would say, well, we're going to go to war with each other and make a mess of everything and destroy millions of lives and billions of dollars worth of property. That didn't make sense to them. It was a very enthusiastic and optimistic period with new inventions coming along, people's lives improving, and they just saw that going off into the future. But that's not what happened. World War I and II happened. There was a shock to the system. And so there might be some shock therapy. You know, what are we going to learn from these awful things that happened? Well, we're going to learn that we got to do something differently. So I made a list here of things that perhaps we meaning the people of, or the leadership of the nations of the world, after World War I and II, what are we going to do differently? How can we not have this happen again? All right. Well, Germany is the problem, isn't it? They're the ones that led both of these wars to happen, so let's just curb them. Don't let them arm themselves again, ever. Well, this certainly was an attitude that was taken after World War I and World War II, really. But look what happened, in a sense. Germany, since it didn't have to spend money on arms, spent money on industry and became the top economic country of Europe. And who would look at Germany today and say, oh, there's a menace, keep them down? So we don't know, did what we did cause that, or would it happen anyway? Secondly, I have create and maintain the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. So both the Soviet Union after World War II and the United States began to do exactly that. We're going to have such a huge military that never again will we have a problem like this. And both in World War I and in World War II, the United States at least was not ready to fight a war. So there was lead time in both cases where we geared up and went on a war economy to build up. Well, we don't want to do that again. We want to be ready all the time, so we're going to have the greatest fighting force ready. Well, the downside of that, as President Eisenhower put it, was that then we have dominance of our government, or at least the possibility and the probability that the war industries, the military industries, would dominate our politics.